Well, the things that I experienced with him were monster-like. That stuff almost destroyed my life.
Welcome back. A hearing is set for next Tuesday in the case for Sean Diddy Combs. This just days after jurors delivered a mixed verdict in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial.
Donald Trump is spiraling out of control, and he's not even pretending otherwise. Over the past few days, his Truth Social account has turned into a digital meltdown on full display. It's flooded with wild-eyed rage and glitchy AI fever, dreams that make no sense to anyone with a functioning brain. We're talking full-on, deepfake chaos, like a video of Barack Obama being dragged away in handcuffs. Not satire, not parody, just straight-up digital delusion. Then there's the meme of Joe Biden strapped into a straitjacket, as if we're living in some conspiracy comic book. And let's not forget,
how many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
The bizarre, almost demonic clip of Hillary Clinton into a swamp creature. Yes, really. This isn't clever trolling. This isn't 4D chess. This is full-blown fear, dripping through every pixel of his posts. Trump's not just angry, he's terrified. But terrified of what? Each post looks like a desperate scream into the void, a last-ditch effort to control the narrative as everything slips from his grasp. Legal heat is closing in. Allies are jumping ship, and the MAGA base, even they're starting to blink. Trump's digital tantrum isn't just embarrassing, it's revealing. Because when a man this powerful starts hallucinating enemies, you know the walls are closing in fast. The real answer might be buried beneath years of velvet rope.
Referred to me as Wild King Nights. And what a Wild King Night was when him and a guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil astroglide,
red carpets, and hush-hush backroom dealings where Donald Trump and Sean Diddy Combs allegedly played a much filthier game than anyone dared to imagine. Now, with Diddy awaiting sentencing after being convicted of trafficking paid escorts across state lines for what the feds called multi-day pleasure retreats, Trump's name is suddenly circling that same cesspool, and the whispers, they're getting louder. Some are coming from former party staff, others from insiders with serious Palm Beach connections, all of them pointing to one jaw-dropping possibility. Diddy's infamous freak-out parties didn't just unfold in hidden or shadowy Beverly Hills estates. No, some of them allegedly took place inside Mar-a-Lago. That's right, the supposed heart of American conservatism might have moonlighted as a VIP playground for the elite's darkest urges. Suddenly, Trump's endless online outbursts begin to make more sense. They're not just ego-fueled rants, they're strategic. As attention quietly shifts toward his past associations with both Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy, Trump stirs chaos to cloud the truth. This isn't about old party photos. This is about timing and distraction. While his supporters rage over the DOJ's mishandling of the Epstein files, Trump goes on the offensive, threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal over an alleged lewd cartoon sent to Epstein. All while far more damning revelations creep closer to the surface. Insiders from ex-security staff to former logistics workers at Trump properties now allege that Mar-a-Lago may have served as a private headquarters for some of Diddy's most controversial parties. Rumors swirl that Trump and Diddy shared more than flashy photo ops. They allegedly had a mutual understanding. Trump provided protection and privacy, while Diddy offered donations, promotion, and what one associate called a seat at the shadow table. This wasn't just celebrity networking. It was a transactional alliance powered by silence, secrecy, and leverage. And now, that silence is breaking. The firing of prosecutor Maureen Comey, who played key roles in both the Diddy and Epstein investigations, wasn't just suspicious, it was explosive. She called it what it was, a blatant abuse of power. Her dismissal came right as the Epstein files were expected to finally drop, suggesting a cover-up rather than coincidence. Then came whispers from inside Mar-a-Lago that certain areas had private surveillance systems disconnected from the estate's main feeds. What were they recording? Rumors from legal circles and industry fixers suggest Trump may have had access to compromising footage from parties he and Diddy both attended, not for security, but for control. One former staffer even described him as addicted not to power or politics, but to domination and manipulation. If this footage exists, it could explain a lot about Trump's unchecked rise and his uncanny ability to keep certain enemies quiet. Was this the secret chip he's been holding? The theory that Trump helped shield Diddy during escalating federal pressure gains more credibility when you examine the hints. Trump's vague comments when asked about Diddy, the bizarre mention of no one asking for a pardon, and the public events they attended together. They don't seem so innocent anymore, especially now that Diddy faces real prison time. And we know those whispered tales of freak-off weekends were based on coercion and surveillance. While Diddy waits behind bars for his October sentencing, Trump is busy launching attacks against his political enemies. What looks like trolling may actually be a calculated tactic. Some believe Trump is now copying Diddy's infamous archive strategy, except instead of real tapes, he's using deep. Generative AI isn't just for memes anymore. According to a former campaign advisor, Trump's team has started exploring AI not just for visuals, but for synthetic blackmail, fabricated media used to manipulate, discredit, or silence critics. This is the modern blueprint of control: digital blackmail, AI-crafted fear, and the ability to manufacture fake truths that carry more weight than reality. If that's where we are, if Trump is really repurposing Diddy's tactics in a high-tech form, then we've stepped into dangerous new territory, a place where the most powerful man in the world might not need the truth to stay in control. He just needs you to believe the lie. Diddy is no longer just a music mogul. He's now the centerpiece of a legal firestorm with the potential to bring down political giants. Behind the walls of Brooklyn's MDC lockup, Diddy is playing a very different game. He's joined therapy groups, domestic violence programs, and self-improvement courses. While it's being pitched as a journey toward accountability, insiders say it's a textbook attempt to gain sympathy before his sentencing in October. Legal experts aren't fooled. One former federal prosecutor dismissed it as gamesmanship, a strategic move designed to soften the court's view of a man who built an empire on bravado and intimidation. But this soft rebrand may be the least shocking twist. Whispers are growing louder in legal circles that Diddy, now facing serious prison time and cornered by a tsunami of lawsuits, could be preparing to cooperate with federal investigators in exchange for leniency. And if that happens, the name he's rumored to trade for freedom is none other than Donald J. Trump. Legal sources suggest the feds might be dangling a high-level deal, but it won't come cheap. Diddy would have to give them something explosive, possibly about the now infamous freak-off weekends, or what really went down at Mar-A-Lago. Reports claim that digital records, guest lists, and videotapes may still exist, and Diddy allegedly knows where they are. If he talks, the impact won't just be legal, it will be it could send shockwaves through the MAGA world and tear at the carefully curated mythology Trump has built over decades. Already, forums that once blindly worshipped Trump are filling with doubt. Photos of him and Diddy at parties, courtside, flanking Melania and Kim Porter are being dissected like crime scene evidence. One viral post asked, how deep was Trump in with the freak-off crew? Another warned that if Trump knew and stayed silent, he's no better than the swamp. Add to that the Epstein files, a long-standing wound among Trump's base. Grand jury binders promised bombshells but delivered fluff. Then came the firing of Maureen James Comey's daughter, and one of the few prosecutors linked to both Diddy and Epstein. Her removal only inflamed suspicions that powerful forces are scrubbing tracks. Even Elon Musk fueled speculation with a since-deleted post. Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they haven't been released. No denial has followed. Just silence, threats, and strange AI-generated memes from Trump's camp. Sources inside the legal world say Diddy's team recently asked about protective immunities, the type offered to witnesses in high-level federal cases. That's not gossip, that's procedure. If true, it means Diddy's preparing to talk, and what he says could implode Trump's legacy, because what once looked like celebrity friendships now feel more like collusion. The man who promised to drain the swamp may have been bathing in it, all along shoulder to shoulder with a mogul whose sealed court files read like a dystopian nightmare. And the only question left now is, when will the dam finally break? Incredibly, Diddy's own lawyers referred to his entourage as partners in trafficking, a chilling phrase considering the billionaire music mogul now faces serious charges in a New York court. And yet, we've barely scratched the surface of what's rumored to be locked away in his vault. Tapes, photos, whispers of drug-fueled parties, and high-profile guests allegedly forced into compromising situations. If even a fraction of these rumors prove true, not even Trump's meme army can save him. No AI-generated cartoon can outpace federal subpoenas. Behind the distractions and digital theatrics, there's a psychological pressure mounting on both Diddy and Trump that's becoming impossible to hide. Trump, once the king of controlled chaos, now seems unsteady. His posts feel more frantic than provocative, pulsing with desperation. Insiders say he's growing paranoid, snapping at staffers, and obsessing over optics. His trademark confidence is thinning, replaced by a man seemingly haunted by the very narrative he built. Meanwhile, Diddy's unraveling looks colder, quieter. The flexes are gone. He now sits in federal custody, stripped of his fame, his circle, and his power. Sure, he's attending therapy and self-improvement programs, but insiders say it's less about healing and more about survival. Fear, not remorse, is driving him now. The cost of living a life built on secrecy is catching up. For years, both men thrived on spectacle, Trump with his rallies, Diddy with his power-laced parties. But when the illusion begins to crack, it's not just reputations that crumble its identity. Trump sold dominance, Diddy, invincibility. And now, with prosecutors, whistleblowers, and lawsuits closing in, those illusions are bleeding out. Former associates are finally stepping forward. For years, they stayed silent, afraid of what Diddy could do to them professionally, personally, or both. But the fear is cracking. Psychologists who study public meltdowns call it a breaking point. The gap between the public image and private truth becomes too wide to maintain. That's where both men stand today. Their constant efforts to suppress evidence, control narratives, and silence dissent are no longer working. The exhaustion shows. Every new leak, every court filing, brings fresh panic. And this isn't just about two collapsing public figures, it's about the implosion of two carefully curated myths. The more they cling to control, the more visible the fractures become. And as the legal noose tightens, their fear may drive them to take drastic, dangerous actions. One woman, Diddy's former assistant, testified that he raped and violently assaulted her repeatedly. She claimed he threatened her once, even suggesting he'd weaponize anything on her phone. But here's the real twist. What if Diddy flips? What if, in a last-ditch effort to save himself, he throws Trump under the bus? What happens to Trump's carefully crafted persona then? The MAGA myth relies on Trump being the outsider persecuted by the system. But if Diddy exposes him as part of that same corrupt machine, the fallout could shatter everything. This scandal could eclipse Watergate. If Diddy has the receipts and the will to talk, he could take down more than just his own empire. He could collapse a political movement built on defiance and denial. So we ask, if Diddy talks, does Trump walk? Or do they both go down together? Let us know what you think in the comments. Because one thing's certain: when powerful men panic, they don't go quietly, they grasp, they lash out, and they drag others down with them. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and never look away when the powerful start to crumble.